Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. You are viewing Fight for We, Fight for West and East as we count down to our general elections on Monday, the 28th of April, 2025. You are viewing Tobago Updates Television. This morning, joining me virtually is Ms. Kaye Trotman, the Tobago West candidate for IDA. Good morning, Ms. Trotman.
Good morning, and good morning, Tobago.
Right, and of course we know that you are also the PRO of this political party. What would have inspired you to be more than just the PRO?
Tobago and the country is at a unique crossroads. We're at a time where we really do need to focus on how the island of Tobago and the nation of Trinidad and Tobago needs to position itself, especially in response to what we're seeing happening on the global landscape, where global powers are very antagonistic to small states like ours. Being from a tourism background in terms of my own business and as president of the Bed and Breakfast Association, I am seeing the great difficulties that small properties are having to truly grow their businesses. And I'm recognizing that if it is Tobago needs to develop, then all who claim to be in leadership positions, we need to put our hand to the plow to see what we can do to contribute to the development of our needs.
Right.
That development happens, survive.
And of course, you know, we see a lot of campaigning. Of course, we are what we say locally in local parlance, silly season, right? But I don't like the name, but I understand why we call it that, because some of us, we really are out of our wits and we do behave silly at times. How has the campaigning been for you? And what have you, what is your experience like, or what have you discovered as you campaign?
The campaigning season has been very hopeful in the sense that you are meeting people who seem to be, for want of a better word, they're fed up with where we are. They're fed up with the process that we seem to be engaging. They're fed up with the bacchanal. They're fed up with the peacocking, even though we have come to accept that as traditional to the whole political campaigning season. People are really fed up of it. It is a sobering moment, and people want a sobering discussion. People want to be given a reason for being involved in their own development, not just voting for the lesser of two evils or voting against something. They want to really vote for something that means something for their development and their continued existence. So it's a hopeful environment, but it's also a sobering environment for me.
Right. Are you hearing me, Ms. Trotman?
I'm hearing you, but a bit delayed.
Okay, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you now, I believe. It's coming in and out at times, but the technical team is working on it. You know, when you look again at party politics, and I ask your colleague this question, how do you see yourself really being able to represent the people of Tobago should they select you as a member of parliament? And because we see in the party politics, although the candidate may mean well, the person goes in all excited and yes, I'm representing the people, but somewhere along the lines, you know, the lines get blurred. How are you going to ensure that this will not happen? Should your party have a different direction over issue, but the people are saying, this is what we want?
Well, from the party level, you are really there to represent the people. And you are not just there to pursue your own party agenda. It is a time for open discussion, and open discussion with your constituents, open discussion with your party as well. The critical thing with the IDA is that we are definitely focused on people empowerment, working from the communities up, so that our focus is not just about party politics. It's about how we can ensure that the people are empowered to deal with their development. And for us, that is why that Community Bill of Rights is so important for us, because it gives the people the authority and the right to be involved in shaping their own future. And what we're doing is helping to facilitate that through empowerment, so that it doesn't matter after election, it doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned and as far as the IDA is concerned, the colors of party. My job as an MP would be to work with the THA, regardless of who's in charge of the administration. My job is also to collaborate with other MPs in the space to make sure that Tobago's unique issues are clearly ventilated and gotten support for when national bills are made, when we are shaping the budget so that the THA can get the resources it needs to be able to execute the projects on the ground. So if we as MPs and potential MPs keep that in focus, we wouldn't be too distracted by party colors and agendas.
Hmm? And what would have inspired you, to find yourself in this position where you are comfortable to offer yourself to be the member of parliament for Tobago West?
Well, this isn't my first hurrah, so to
Right,
speak, in politics. I was at the last THA election and I saw the opportunity. I saw at that point in time that it's all about not just what the country can do for us, it's about what we can do for the country where we are. We are leaders. We are leaders in communities. We are leaders in business. We are leaders in NGOs. We bring
right.
skills to the table. And Tobago and Trinidad and Tobago requires all of the expertise it has in it at this point in time in order to transform itself to survive. So that the responsibility of all of us, leaders at various levels, is to give to our nation what that our nation requires at this point in time to go forward.
What are some of the national issues What are some of the national issues that you would like to see at the forefront? Because during this particular campaign, I think the lines are being blurred because you hear a lot of THA issues, but it's a general elections and national elections. So what, coming from the IDA, coming from your camp, what you would like to see, really being addressed and brought to the front that when you become a member of parliament, you take it from there?
Well, as I said before, yes, the community is a critical one because it puts power into the hands of the community. But as some of the what I would like to think as quick wins, so to speak, is to look at the existing laws, reviews those laws that have had negative impact on Tobago, and to focus on those in the immediate term that can be addressed to Tobago's benefit. Laws like our land license, looking at the Wildlife Act again, especially as it relates to endangered species. And we see that because of how that was dealt with, Tobago was left in a situation where it's overrun by our wildlife that is giving our agriculture sector a run for its money. We need to address that. We need to look at the TRHA Act, where the board for the TRHA is can only be appointed by going down to Trinidad. So those existing laws that impact negatively on how the THA does its work are some of the things that we can look at and we will be looking at early in the term.
Mm-hmm. I would have asked all the candidates for the various districts that I would have interviewed so far this week, what is your perspective or how do you see your role as a member of parliament? Because we know we have an official, definition we can just repeat, but you as a person offering yourself, getting into that, how do you really see the role of an MP fitting in and, of course, representing the people of Tobago West and Tobago by extension?
Well, that is the bridge. We have to be the bridge between the THA and central government. And that is what I'm purposed myself to be, a representative of the constituency, and that bridge in working with the THA to ensure that the protection it needs via the laws, national laws that are made, that the budgetary allocation it requires to do its job, that it gets that, and providing at the same time the kind of unbiased oversight, both from a THA perspective, but also from the national government perspective to ensure accountability going forward. So for me, that relationship is one that needs to be a harmonious relationship because it focuses on the people of Tobago being able to be seen and have their voices heard, and at the same time having development come to them. But my focus is also on ensuring the THA is fully equipped and protected in order to do that.
And are you convinced that this relationship can really be harmonious? Because I had a candidate who, referred to or would have, hinted at laws. And my point was the laws are there. There's documents, there's a law, there are policies that define the relationship between the THA, whoever sits there, and central government, whoever sits there. But it seems to be not working. So are you convinced? Because there are some people who seem to have lost faith in the entire process. Are you convinced that really this thing can work?
I am convinced it can work. We are having challenges with it now because of the dominance of party politics. And party politics have set us up to be enemies, so to speak, because we are going, the only way we see ourselves serving the people of Tobago, and I'm talking specifically Tobago now, we
Right.
have to serve Tobago so that we at the party level look good. That should not be the predominant criteria. We just need to serve the people. The byproduct is, yes, you're going to look good if you truly serve the people, but it should not be about looking good by doing particular things. And that is why there's competition between MPs and the THA when there should not be. But I know it can be done. If I didn't think so, I would not be in this race.
Most definitely. And whether it's you or one of your other candidates for Tobago West going in, what should be the first order of business, you think, for the Member of Parliament for Tobago West?
Definitely you need to get back to the people. You need to get back to the people. And apart from that, you also need to meet with the THA, because you cannot represent Tobago if you don't know what the THA needs and you don't know what your people need. So you need to touch back base with your communities, with your constituency. But quite importantly, you need to touch base with THA, because part of your responsibility is to ensure the THA is empowered to deal with the constituents, because they are the ones to execute the projects on the ground.
Right.
We are the ones to shape the framework, the laws that would allow them to function.
And when you look at Trinidad and Tobago again, there always seems to be some disparity. People will argue for it or say that is how it has to be. Do you think, and we go back again to relationship and the larger political parties having a louder voice in terms of how Tobago is treated. Do you think that at any point in time, and I asked Jared the same question, that Trinidad will see Tobago as its equal and not a ward of or mommy-daughter relationship, big sister, little sister? Do you think that Tobago can really hold its own and allow Trinidad to accept that we are its equal?
We have a living in an environment where if Trinidad and Tobago as a nation needs to position itself to respond to the global changes that we are seeing and the aggression that is meted out to us, we have no choice but to reposition ourselves to do so. And in order to do so, we need to ensure that the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago is one that puts us there. So that the union needs to be, there is no if but about it. It needs to be a union about equality of status. No mommy daughter, no big sister, big little brother kind of relationship. That has passed its useful life. It's about equality of status to facilitate the kind of development Trinidad and Tobago needs to do right now, and to allow for diversification. True diversification can only come when Trinidad is operating at its optimal and when Tobago is also operating at its optimal. And that's why the issue of constitutional reform becomes so important. So we need
Right.
to review that and review the autonomy bill again from that perspective, for the nation to survive We have to transform ourselves and transform the union that we currently in.
And why do you think the IDA's philosophy on the topic of autonomy is the better way to go as opposed to what has been presented to us?
We are at a stage where we have learned a lot more from the last time that that bill has been presented. It has been presented from the perspective of what was occurring 10 years past. I know it's a topic that a lot of people have their own positions on, but we need to look at where we are now. And our autonomy bill should not be one about satisfying past politics, but positioning us for future growth and development. And if that is the focus, it means we need to do it differently and do it in a way that involves both the representatives of Parliament, Tobago East and West, the THA, and the people of Tobago. If we have to get it right, it's not going to kill us. And I personally believe it can be done in an 18-month time period where we re-engage Tobagonians again with a true Tobago focus, get that drafted and presented before Parliament, and have the national discussion on it, and calling to heal the national parties to not use it as a football, but to finally state their positions. Every time we go to autonomy, because one party brings it up, the other party does not support it if they're in opposition. And if it changes, the same thing happens again. We need to break that cycle. And two independent IDA candidates going down will present a true Tobago case, because the process will now be different. It would involve not just the Tobagonians on the ground, it would involve the MPs, it would involve the THA, where we give our clear definitions going forward and be able to take that to Parliament. And I dare want to say, if at that point in time it is not given and it's kicked around like a political football, the people of Tobago need to be prepared to be mobilized legally as well as politically to get it done. And when that comes to if that comes to it, then as an MP, I will join forces with the THA, who should be taking lead on that to get that done with true Tobago focus.
Mm-hmm. And I want to thank you so much for sharing with us, Ms. Trotman. I know you are quite a busy entrepreneur, so every time you put aside time to talk to us, the viewers, the people of Tobago, it shows that you are for the people of Tobago and how important this is to you. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's about commitment, and that's what I want to leave with the Tobago people. We, all of us, have a part to play in where Tobago goes and how Tobago is transformed. Right. And I want you, Tobago, to join us at the IDA, to vote for the IDA candidates so that your voice can be truly heard and that we can rally together to get done what we need to do. So on the 28th of April, vote for the heart with the fingerprint, your fingerprint in it.
All right. Thank you so much. And viewers, you've heard from our candidates this morning. Again, it's our responsibility to listen carefully, have a better understanding of what they are representing, and, choosing that candidate who you believe will really be a voice of the people and do what is best for us as a people. So thank you again, viewers. Thank you for staying with us. Fight for West and East, fight for we. As we continue to meet the candidates, this is our show for this morning, but we resume tomorrow at 9 a.m. as we meet with other individuals who can walk us through, this countdown. So stay with us. Tobago Updates Television will be back in the morning at 7 a.m., of course, with our morning show, followed by our GMT and this program, Fight for We. So stay tuned tomorrow, and you don't know what else we have. We have been on the campaign trail. We've been bringing you the PNM meetings, the TPP meetings, other meetings. We are providing a platform for other candidates, other entities to also come and share their philosophies so that you can be well informed. Thank you for choosing Tobago Updates Television.